Cup is the best receptacle for barbecues,
Give it up!
Considered overbearing. When a certain gentleman arrives from Rome, Portland, he wore the dress and these all kinds of weather. We stick together, the same in the rain or sun. Three different faces, but in tight places. We think and we act as one. Those who seen us know that not a thing can come between us. Many men have tried to split us up, but no one can. Lord help the mister who comes between me and my sister. And Lord help the sister who comes between me and my man. All kinds of weather, we stick together, the same in the rain or sun. Three different faces, but in tight places, we think and we act as one. Those who've seen us know that not a thing can come between us. Many men have tried to split us up, but no one can. Lord help the mister who comes between me and my sister. And Lord help the sister who comes between me and my man. Sisters who come between me and my man.
It's for the way.
I don't know how to follow that. That was so happy, and I feel like I'm just gonna cry. But that's okay. I'll get going here. Hello, everyone. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Shannon, and I'm one of the bride's many maid of honors. Now, if you're wondering how you're supposed to squeeze a lifetime of friendship into a short speech, so am I, but I'm gonna do my best. While many of you will remember this day as the day Jacey and Connell pledged their love to one another, this is also the day that Connell officially joined the sisterhood. Plus Jim. Jim, you are no longer alone. And Connell, welcome to the madhouse. I have known Jacey for a very long time. Our families have been close even before we existed. You could say we were meant to be. Jacey has been my best friend for my entire life, apart from the 8 months of childhood where I was waiting for her to be born. People talk about weddings and marriages as the uniting as two people who can walk through life together, grow together, and memorize entire movie scripts together. So I am so happy that we could come together today to celebrate us. Just kidding, I'm super kidding. Okay, but no, please stay. Okay, Jacey and I were two peas in a pod. We're the youngest in both of our families. And we both had mean older siblings.
that were always too cool to hang out with us. It's not completely their fault, because no one wanted to hang out with the babies. We accepted that. So although many of our days were spent banished from the treehouse or denied entry from the pillow fort, the sweet sting of sibling exclusion never hurt us as bad because we always had each other. Not only to hang out with, but also to plot our revenge. Siblings, we love you. And we know we were probably outrageously annoying. We're sorry, but we're not that sorry. Regardless, we became very close growing up, aimlessly following each other, whether that be dyeing our hair with pink and blue highlights or an awkward tween music camp. Evidence of which should be destroyed. Definitely. If we were awkward, at least we were awkward together. We learned all kinds of life lessons together, like don't do music camp. You guys said it was cute, but it wasn't cute. Because of this beautiful human, for my entire life, I never had to worry about being alone. She taught me how to have fun, how to be weird, how to show a goat, and crochet a chain. Thank you for being more than just a friend to me, but also my through all of my ups and downs. Thank you for always making me smile, even at my worst. Connell, how you doing? What's up, my man? Okay, first off, saying welcome to the family seems solidly out of place because you've been here for a while. But regardless, welcome, and we love you. But in the future, there's some things I want you to keep in mind about our girl. Yes, there might be chickens in the shower. Okay? Yes, she might spend the entire day responding to you in an endless stream of quotes from Mulan. She might come home with random houseplants or animals that she allegedly found on the side of the road. But don't blame her. Blame our mothers. Okay? Who always taught us to ask for forgiveness rather than permission with such things. You have chosen one hell of a wife, so good luck. To Jacey and Connell, we'll get some wine. To Jacey and Connell, may your life together be filled with laughter and love that you bring into the lives of all around you, and here's to a lifetime of countless sushi dates and the kind of love that makes every day feel like an adventure. Hey. Cheers!
Cheers!
Let's give it up for Shannon. That was pretty excellent. And next up, we have Mr. Andrew. Take it away, Andrew.
All righty.
Yeah.
All righty. Hello, everybody. For those that do not know me, my name is Andrew. Let me turn my flashlight off. The first time I remember formally meeting Connell and actually Jacey was summer of going into sophomore year. A couple weeks before school, we for whatever reason, had decided that it would be a good idea, all three of us, to sign up for the FFA group at University of Portland. But for those that also don't know, FFA did not stand for Future Farmers of America. That actually stood for Faith Information Ambassadors, and we were actually representatives for our dorms at the time. Connell and Jacey were both FFAs for their respective dorms. Connell for Christie, Jacey for Kenna. I was in Shipstad. We all shared the same hall, or the same quad space on campus. But I had no clue upon meeting both of them that they were going to become two of the closest people that I would ever have in my life. So what I immediately appreciated about Connell was that we were actually wearing the same socks the day that I met him. So we both had the City of Portland Skyline socks on. I thought they were sick, really cool. Obviously, so did he. And I thought that since this guy's got great taste in socks, I should get to know him better. So I did just that. Good socks are an excellent quality. So something that Connell, Jacey, and I came up with and that we did throughout the year as a part of that job was coordinate spiritual hikes. We worked together to organize monthly hikes for the quad community to different spots throughout the Pacific Northwest. It was actually one of my favorite parts of college, period. Lots of really good memories. I remember, I don't have this written down, by the way, this part. I don't know why it's just now coming to my head, but I remember on one particular hike, Jacey had dropped her water bottle, and she and I were paired up. So we were responsible for a couple of freshmen and supposed to be setting the tone for this hike, and Jacey up and drops her water bottle down a cliff, and she damn near jumped in after it. And I had no clue what to do. I froze, and I was like, I don't know what the hell I'm going to tell Connell if this happens. And she said, yeah, next time maybe don't let me do that. And I said, yeah, I'll think about it. But completely shocked. Goodness. But another fond memory that I have, I really wasn't that into hiking at the time. I had done maybe 2 or 3 hikes before that, but when we came up with this idea, it sounded super cool. Great way to see the Northwest and to check it all out. So the first few hikes that I went on, underprepared, never had all the snacks or gear that I needed. And I figured out very quickly within 2 hikes that Connell is a very proud Eagle Scout. Yes, is, not was, is a proud Eagle Scout. And I swear to God, this guy was ready for whatever disaster or calamity that was going to hit. So I took a lot of water, a lot of snacks from him. He was a big shot there. One of the things that I admire most about Connell is his total willingness to try new things. I can list off a ton of examples. We played flag football for the first time, both of us. It didn't go well. Same can be said for basketball, skiing, scuba diving, and the other thing that he was totally willing to try that was brand new was to become a father of a hedgehog and of 2 corgis. In my opinion, Willow had it easy. I think Bernie kind of got the short end of that stick. He was the first furry friend that Connell became a dog dad for. But no matter what, once Connell discovers something that he loves, another thing that I really admire is he just wants to share that love and that appreciation, that joy with everybody else around him. A good example of that is actually scuba diving. So Connell called me not too long ago, maybe about a year and a half ago, saying, hey, I'm going to be in town. I'm going scuba diving. And you're coming. Again, if I had not met Connell, I would have said, you're crazy. There are giant fish in there. I do not want any part of that. But hanging around him for 4 or 5 years has allowed me to kind of grow that part of my personality. And so I said, sure. And I'm not joking. There were fish 3 times Connell's size that we saw, and we were uncomfortably close to. I did not take pictures because we were underwater, but I only did it for you, buddy. Oh man, that was terrifying. But it was actually one of the coolest experiences that I've ever had. I'm not certified yet. I'll get there, but yeah. But another thing that I love about this guy, his total willingness to do anything for the people that he loves, or the people that he is close to. And I'll just share a story that pertains to our relationship. We went for a hike one time in Ecola State Park, I believe, off the coast of Oregon. And this is actually going to tie in nicely with one of those shoe game questions. At the end of that hike, I'm notorious for not planning my life out in general, but I had a meeting that I needed to get back to in Portland, and we were a good 2 hours away, 2.5 hours. And I said, yeah, hey, man, not to rush you, but we need to get back there in like an hour and a half. And Connell said, yeah, okay, sure, that's fine. So we ended up getting pulled over. We were going 25 to 30 miles an hour over the speed limit. He was terrified because he left his wallet in the back, and he thought the gun was going to get pulled on him, and I actually saw the cop. She was ready. But yeah, his will. It was not even like a question. He was like, "Yeah, we're gonna get you there on time." And we until the cop pulled us over, I believed it.
Oh, I believed it too.
Yeah, we were gonna make it. So, and then something that maybe most of you don't know, or some of you maybe you do, but Jacey actually lived in the house that I was also renting at the time for a summer. So Jacey needed a place to stay. We had an extra room for the summer. I forget if you were doing some type of work, research for the school. I was working at Intel at the time. But Jacey, during that time, I learned a lot about Jacey in a very good way. At the time, I didn't have a good example of what, I should be looking for in terms of a life partner. Wasn't so sure who I should be looking for, what traits I should be looking for. But she showed me a lot of what I didn't realize that I wanted in a partner. She is incredibly loyal, selfless, kind, and so very thoughtful. Connell and Jacey love each other so much in all facets of their life. I knew, once I saw that and got to hear it firsthand from her, that those were traits that I desperately wanted in whoever I was going to meet. So that's all I have for that section, but it was incredible. It was incredible to see the love that they shared for one another, and I only got Connell's perspective until I had that summer, which was really special. Another thing I love about both of these guys, Connell and Jacey, is their ability to laugh at themselves and to make the best of any situation. Connell quickly became a person in my life, and Jacey, who was always there. This is actually mostly Connell, sorry. He was always there for me. He answered every phone call that I had, unless he was in OChem, studying for OChem, or talking about OChem to anyone. Then I was on the back burner. He loved chemistry. And he was always game for any late night walk. He reintroduced me to the joy of being outdoors. Connell and Jacey were, and still are, an excellent example of how much joy friends and friendship can bring to your life, even when you're elbow deep in homework and it's 2 or 3 in the morning and we didn't study for name that test. But to wrap things up, I do want to share some sage wisdom from the National Eagle Scout Association, since big shots here, whose motto is, serve others selflessly. Let's all raise a glass to Connell and Jacey. You can raise this one. May you continue to selflessly serve each other as you enter into marriage and always put each other first. Cheers.
So for those of you who don't know me, I am Jim Regglesworth, Jacey's dad. And I really want to thank you all for joining us here to celebrate the beginning of their lives together as a married couple. For those of you who do know me, you know I'm really not big on speeches, so I'm going to make this pretty brief. Jacey's the baby of our family. She's one of 4 girls. Naturally, as the youngest, people might think, well, she lived in her sister's shadows, and that's simply not the case. She always made her mark on everything she did. I remember when all 3 girls played Bumblebee soccer, and they all got out there in a swarm, chased a ball, fell all over themselves, and never seemed to catch the darn thing. All 3 of the girls ended up going on to select and high school soccer, but Jacey, she was the fearless defender. And as part of that process, she got more bonks on the head than any of us would care to admit. So we ended up retiring her from soccer. Her determination shone through, though, and as she forged her own path away from her sister's sporting careers, she turned to tennis, where she lettered in tennis, made a lifelong friend of Jacey's coach, who's here with us today. Leading up to that, though, she tried track, and it really wasn't her cup of tea. And so she went to the coach, told him she was going to quit that and focus on tennis. And he really tried to guilt trip her into staying onto the team. He even went so far as to tell Jacey that her sisters would be really disappointed in her. And she responded to that by saying, "Oh yeah? Let's get her on the phone." They'll tell you what they think. And spoiler alert, they had her back. Jacey's always had a unique love of fishing. And she is catch and release, of course. And so she was on a trip with me in Belize, only girl who wanted to go out and hang out with her old man. And she was with me when I caught an 80-pound tarpon that took me well over 2 hours to land. And she was there cheering me on every bit of the way. And when I was too exhausted to do anything more for the day, Jacey got right up in the bow of that boat, and she caught fish after fish after fish with a huge grin on her face. Unlike her sisters, though, who tried to humor the old man and go hunting with me, Jacey said, "No, I love ducks. Hunting is not happening." Still, her scientific curiosity got the best of her, and she was always there with me, cleaning the fish and, oddly enough, autopsying all the ducks that I brought home. So while she was never my hunting buddy, she was always my great partner in crime. Now let's talk a little bit about Connell. So our family's admittedly a bit quirky. Some would say we're really odd. And family gatherings are like a buffet free-for-all, with everyone sampling everybody else's dishes and drinks. And the first time Connell got introduced to that, he was so overwhelmed. And I heard him whispering to Jacey, "Do I have to share my food too?" Now, he's bounced back from that pretty well. But it's still a question about whether you've bounced back from the annual Christmas gift of butt-naked underwear, which for those who aren't in the know, that's a staple of Duluth Trading Company. And they get these things, whether they like them or not, every Christmas. So I don't think he necessarily said that, but so early in their relationship, I gave Connell what I, at the time, traditionally gave to all the girls' boyfriends: a 3.5-inch shotgun shell loaded with buckshot with Connell's name written on it. And I handed it to him and I said, "Be sure to treat my daughter well, because while you might be able to outrun me, you can't outrun my gun. And I'm a pretty good shot." Connell was the only one who thought that was hilarious. So as you heard from Andrew, Connell is the consummate Boy Scout. He is Boy Scout, Eagle Scout, through and through. He's always looking for ways to be helpful. So one day this summer, while Jacey and Rhonda were making wedding plans, Connell took it on himself to go out there and mow our lawn. And when he got done with that, he said, well, you guys go down to the path every day to the river. So he mowed us a nice 15-foot swath, straight as an arrow, right between our yard and the river. Now, what he didn't know, apparently, was that for the last 20 years, we have never even walked through our hayfield. We always walk around. And so he was horrified when he was excited and showed Jacey what he did, and she was frantic. So he came to me, hat in hand, looking very sheepish, and apologized profusely to me. And again, he probably wasn't expecting the reaction. I thought it was freaking hilarious. So, in his honor, from this year forward, every year we're going to cut a 15-foot path straight through the middle of our hayfield, and we're going to call it Connell's Trail. All jokes aside, it's been fascinating watching Jacey and Connell navigate the ups and downs of a relationship, and there's been some of both, but they really developed into something special. And Connell, we welcome you to our wonderful, odd, but loving family. You'll fit right in. Now let's raise a toast to the new Mr. and Mrs. Moranti. May your marriage be filled with love, laughter, and lots of ducky friends, who, by the way, need to move in with you. And finally, I want to acknowledge and thank David and Tina Moranti for their generous support of this wedding and their contribution towards making this everything that Jacey and Connell wanted. Amen. So, David and Tina, welcome to the family.